Hey everybody, David here, and today I want to talk about WandaVision Episode 7, Breaking the Fourth Wall, because, yes, this episode is taking tropes from television comedies that break the fourth wall, similar to The Office or Parks and Rec, which I've been starting to watch on Netflix recently. And I think Modern Family was another one that a lot of people pointed out was a comedy like that. I never seen that one, but I seen a little bit of The Office. Yes, because there is a couple of moments where breaking the fourth wall occurs, where a character is talking to the audience directly as if they're like filming a documentary to something to that extent. So yes. At first, I was thinking to myself, so is Deadpool gonna show up in this episode because that's his like thing to do is breaking the fourth wall. But no, he did not show up. Holy shit, this episode was it gave us a lot. It gave us one of the first, I feel, big reveals that is starting to finally really answer things to the forefront. Which is at the very end, so I'll keep to that afterwards. And I think we're going to get a lot more in the last two episodes. So we start off with Wanda waking up, and she turns over and notices Vision's missing. So the way this opens up, it feels like, okay, so was everything that I experienced last week a dream? And it turns out no, because Vision's still missing. As we know, he's still out there in the field. Or I was thinking maybe he wasn't. Maybe she did bring him somewhere and was just punishing him or something. But apparently the kids run into the room. Wanda thinks she's going to have a nice day, but no, the kids come, start yelling and are like, Mom, wake up. Like Billy's like, I hear voices and our video games are going out of control. And it shows a clip of them like of their video game controllers turning into different era controllers and then eventually going to Uno. And I was listening to another podcast where they were saying how Uno kind of represents, that's it, this is it, this is the last thing, this is the Uno card where you're supposed to yell out Uno once you're on the last one. So if that's true, that's brilliant. Yeah, it was seeing all of this, what was going on. Clearly, it was indicating that Wanda was having a mental breakdown, and that everything that was going on right now was out of her control. And we've kind of speculated since episode 3, I would say, where she was starting to lose control. I think it was episode 3 that had the stork, which the stork did return in this episode, but we never got really any significance from it. I guess it was just something she couldn't make disappear, and I think we're getting hints of it why she couldn't make it disappear, because maybe not everything is under her control, because like I said, it looks like she's having a mental breakdown, and it looks like everything is just going out of control in her house, because then after Agnes takes the kids away, she says, she takes the kids, she comes in right all the time at the right minute to help out. And funny enough, she takes the kids away and she says, hey, if you owe me one, you could, I forgot exactly what she says, but she says some smart ass remark. And so she takes the kids out and things are still turning, right? The TV is transforming, the lamppost, everything in the house is transforming beyond her control. And Wanda's like trying to fix everything, but she can't because she's losing control. So later we see Hayward. And I don't really have much thoughts on him this week because it sounds like he's planning something, but we don't know what. But we do learn from, I believe it was Monica and Jimmy, that it looks like he was trying to get the Vision's body and turn it into a weapon. That's from what I remember anyways. So is he purely bad? Maybe. I think he's a guy with bad motives, but I don't think he's the main threat of the movie. I think of the show. I think he's like a side villain kind of thing, a side nuisance, if you will. Because, well, okay, I can't get into that yet, but Jimmy and Monica, they go and meet the person that Monica mentioned last week, her guy, right? Which turned out not to really be a guy. It turned out to be it turned out to be a girl, a woman who had nothing to do with Reed Richards or the Fantastic Four or any of the theories that we all thought. I kind of thought that last week too. It's like, I don't know who could be this aerospace engineer, and maybe this is not it. Maybe this is just someone that, you know, was just bringing the thing, the car, the vehicle to Monica, and that's all it was. And I know I'm skipping a little ahead, but go with me, guys. So when they get there, they meet this person, and okay, here's the vehicle that's gonna, you just go in there, and hopefully you'll be all right, and you won't transform or anything like that. So Monica gets into the vehicle and starts driving towards the hex, and it looks like she's about to get in, but she's having trouble. It's not going in, and then the car kind of starts getting in there, but not really, and then it starts going up, showing that no, it doesn't look like this thing is gonna go in. But then you see the hex starting to come into the car, and you're like, what the heck is going on here? And eventually Monica realizes she's got to jump this vehicle because something is not working out with this. So she jumps out, and eventually the hex spits out the vehicle as it's like a quarter way in, and it shows that the vehicle did change a little bit, but not all the way. So Monica is like, you know what, screw it, I'm just gonna go in there. Despite the fact that Jimmy's telling her not to, yelling at her, don't do it, she decides, I'm going in. And she starts rushing in there. We start hearing all these voices and stuff. But Monica manages to get in there. And she starts hearing voices like Nick Fury, her mother's voice, her young voice, and even Captain Marvel's voice was all heard. So so she gets in there and eventually pulls through, and then she goes off to find Wanda. Meanwhile, with Vision, Vision is waking up in the field where he sees the circus. As we saw last week, some of Hayward's men, some of the people that work for Sword, including Darcy, are now at the circus because whoever transformed them into this, is it Wanda? Who knows? They're basically looking at these government officials as a bunch of clowns. And Darcy is not a clown, however, but she wanted to be the bearded lady. That's what she said. And I really gotta say, I enjoyed seeing the Vision and Darcy interaction in this episode. It was a lot of fun seeing them bounce back off each other. That was a team up who knew that we all needed in our lives. And Darcy is essentially there to really give Vision the information that he needs of all the stuff that he's either forgotten about or wasn't even there to see. Because eventually when they're driving off, Darcy tells Vision about his death, right? About when when Thanos took out the Infinity Stone, and then Wanda had to sacrifice himself for everything. Wanda helped kill him or whatever by killing him for him, or destroying him, whatever way you want to put it, because he's a robot. Robots, are they killed or are they destroyed? Who knows? And then how Thanos reversed time and then killed him again. So So Vision is like, oh, okay, so he's not really into this stuff. But there was a funny moment with Vision. After they have their conversation, they have to stop because it looks like Wanda's stopping them from getting to the house, and Vision eventually decides to fly off. But before he flies off, he is doing the camera thing, right, breaking the fourth wall, kind of doing the interview. But I like when he realizes, wait a minute, why am I doing this for? And then he just flies off. I thought that was pretty funny. And then obviously we see Agatha Hart. Agnes. We see her with the kids, and Billy, who, you know, we knew that he was having these like difficulties controlling his powers or whatever. By, you know, he told his mother, "Hey, Mom, I can hear your thoughts." But with Agnes, it was interesting that he didn't know. He told Agnes, "How come I can't hear your thoughts? It's like you're silent inside." And Agatha's just like, I'm not gonna answer that. So and she calls Wanda a little cuckoo, so calling her crazy. As we were already kind of speculating, is she losing her mind? Is she not? I have no idea. It looks like it because she's losing control of this place. So maybe she is. Eventually, though, Wanda does come over. Oh no. Later, Wanda is visited by Monica because Monica eventually gets her way to Wanda's house and confronts her, and it looks like a fight is about to break out because Wanda's like, "What the hell are you doing here?" Things start to get a little bit intense, and when Wanda starts attacking Monica, it looks like Monica resists, or it has no effect. Well, it does have some sort of an effect, but it like she basically does the superhero landing when she's thrown up and then she comes back down. She lands perfectly. Her eyes are glowing. We kind of seen them glowing when she got into the hex, and that's when Agnes comes and notices something's going on with Wanda, and she comes once again to help Wanda out, and with Wanda tells Monica to just leave. You don't belong here. You're bothering Wanda, and you shouldn't be here anymore. And Wanda kind of threatens her also again. And Monica's just like, man, I don't know what's going on here. I did find it interesting that Dottie and the mailman were both watching the situation as it was happening. Like, were they thinking to themselves, holy shit, is a fight about to break out here? I have no idea. Was that their instincts to just stop and do nothing? Who knows? We did get a call out to what's his name? Ralph. Agnes mentions Ralph in this episode. Once again, her husband, Ralph, that we have never seen. She's mentioned him a couple of times before, and I've been hearing a lot of theories about that. Will Ralph turn out to be someone in this show? I have no idea, but I heard one really interesting theory. It would be funny if they went that direction. I'll mention it hopefully when I get to the big reveal, which I'm about to get to. But first I want to talk about the commercial. There was a new commercial, because I haven't been talking about these commercials. I don't remember if I have been, and how some of the commercials are like different takes on Wanda's life in some capacity, like the Stark toaster, and that seemed like a bomb because it was flashing a little bit and you heard a tick-tock going. That was kind of like the bomb that killed Wanda and Pietro's parents. And then you had the Hydra soap, which was what was the Hydra soap all about? Oh, it was about like going into a trance, or going into a dream, like what this could be. Or there was the Time Watch, and the Strucker Time Watch that had some, because Baron Strucker was the guy that experimented on them. But then there's also like an Infinity Stone connection to all these things. I didn't see the Infinity Stone connection this week, but they were the Nexus pills or something, right? This week, and how the it was supposed to take away your pain or something like that today's episode. And obviously, kind of like what could be going on with Wanda, she's taking something that's taking away her pain a little bit. So obviously that's an interesting something, giving us an idea of what's been going on, just like all the other commercials. Last week was the Yo Magic commercial with the Yo Magic yogurt, I guess, where she could have made a deal with the devil. Which now brings us to the big twist, right? When Agnes comes and helps her, she takes her over to her house. Wanda sits down thinking, okay, I got to come down. I got to relax. And then she's like, hey, where are my kids? And Agnes is like, oh, they're probably in the basement or something. And Wanda goes to check, and when she opens the basement door, she doesn't hear anyone down there, but she goes down there anyways. And this is where the scene starts getting a little bit creepy and intense. And when she gets down there, she sees a lot of mystic stuff, including a mystical book that looks very similar to a lot of the mystical books that Doctor Strange has at his place, at the whatever the magic place is called in Doctor Strange. Guys, go with me. I'm not like the big I love the MCU, but I'm clearly not versed on all the right words to say, or at least they've escaped me right now. So clearly there's a Doctor Strange connection. This is where we start seeing a little bit of a Doctor Strange connection here. But we also see like a pot like a witch would have, to do their spells in. At least I think I remember seeing a pot. It was very early this morning when I saw the episode, guys. So go with me here. And I didn't write notes this time, so I'm probably a little hazy on what happened this morning. And then all of a sudden, Agnes shows up behind Wanda and is like, she starts to make the big reveal. She's like, yes, I am Agatha Harkness, and I have been doing this the entire time. And then we get a little musical cue, a new like opening, or in this case, a closing song number, where it's definitely going to catch on for a lot of people. It was in my head this morning for sure. And it's basically saying Agatha was behind it all. And they show us little clips of her from the previous episodes of her working her magic behind the scenes from episode 1, episode 2, including Pietro. Looks like she did have something to do with the Evan Peters Pietro, which didn't really give us everything. So basically, this marked the reveal that Agatha Harkness was the villain all along, or Agnes was the villain all along. So there we go. Everything that people thought about Agnes finally came true. There's been theories from day one that she was going to be revealed to be Agatha Harkness. For people that are the hardcore comic book fans, those were the ones that did the homework for us, that were saying, guys, keep your eyes on this woman. And I didn't fall for any of her tricks. I was like, could she be? And there were times where I felt like maybe she's not the villain. Even last week, I was starting to... But then I was like, no, it's a trick. She was laughing like a psycho in that last episode. I'm not buying it. And I thank goodness I didn't, because she turned out to be a villain. And you can't fool me, Agnes. I could look under your laugh. So there you go, guys. Which brings me to the Ralph thing. Is Ralph going to be revealed to be actually somebody? And I think it could be. I've been believing these Mephisto theories for a while now. I think Mephisto could be her husband. And here's the thing I read on Twitter. Someone wrote, wouldn't it be cool if it turned out to be the actor that Paul Bettany was hinting at turns out to be Ralph Fiennes? So they got an actual actor named Ralph to play Ralph. And it turns out that Ralph Fiennes is the one that plays Mephisto, because Ralph Fiennes, who played Voldemort in the Harry Potter franchise, he's an actor that didn't work with Paul Bettany, who's been in this business for a long time, that I could see Paul Bettany being like, you know what, I would love to work with that guy, because he is a great actor. So there you go. So yeah, I think that would be pretty cool if that turned out to be the actor. But I think I am going to go out the big actor that Paul Bettany already confirmed that it's not Evan Peters. So it could. There's definitely somebody coming that that we're going to see by the finale on who it is. And I'm starting to lean towards Patrick Stewart now, mostly because someone reminded me last week that Ian McKellen was actually in the Da Vinci Code with Paul Bettany. So he already worked with Ian McKellen, so that rules Ian McKellen off the list. So Patrick Stewart, I mean, it could be him. It could be anybody, but I'm thinking Patrick Stewart this time. I am. I'm gonna say Patrick Stewart as Professor Xavier. We'll see. I could be totally wrong, because we did go back. I was wondering throughout this episode. So is Pietro gone? Is this fake Pietro not here anymore? Well, it looks like there was an end credit scene that I didn't know about until like hours after I saw the episode. And Pietro's still around, and he shows up in the end credit scene, and he surprises Monica. So what's he gonna tell Monica? We'll have to find out next week, because they don't give us a hint of what he's gonna say. With that being said, guys, look, I thought this episode was really good. Again, it wasn't. I didn't think it was. Episode 5 is definitely my favorite episode so far of this season. But I thought this was another really good episode, and it has me hyped for the last 2 episodes. We're just getting started, man. This was the first big reveal, and the first one was one that we already kind of knew that this was going to be revealed this way. So we'll see what all the other big reveals are in the last 2 episodes. So I'm looking forward to it. Guys, leave down your comments and theories in the comment section below, and things that I should be looking out for a little bit more. I probably forgot a whole bunch of stuff that I should be talking about. This is why writing notes is good. So with that being said, guys, I hope you guys like this video. Please subscribe to my channel, especially if you're a huge fan of this show like I am. And until next time, take care.